I am willing to be the power of peace. Yes, I am. And I'm telling you now, I am ready. And I'm willing to be. Help me be the power of peace. I am the power of peace. Y'all know this. I am the power of peace. I am the power of peace in my world. And I am the power of peace. Are you ready? Come on and join me. I am ready, and I am willing to be. Ooh, and I'll be the power of peace, of peace. I am ready, yeah, and I'm willing to be. I'll be the power of peace. I am the power of peace. I am the power of peace. I am the power of peace in this world. I am the power of peace. Ooh, are you ready now? I am ready. I am willing to be. Let's be the power of peace, of peace. Ooh, with me, we are ready, and we are willing to be, and we'll be the power, the power, the power, the power of peace. Thank you.
Good morning, Unity on Greenville. My name is Janice Cook, and I am your celebration assistant this morning. Yay! First time, right? So be patient with me in the slides. Welcome to Unity on Greenville, where we practice a positive path for spiritual living. Here's our announcements. So Ki Jong, I think I'm saying it properly, Ki Jong has resumed on Tuesday nights with the wonderful Bristol Heart. Upstairs in the upper room, 6:30 to 9:30, 6:30 to 7:30, you are welcome to join Bristol for some moving meditation. Very cool, right? There's also a list on the screen of the speakers for the next few weeks. Today, I have the honor of introducing a wonderful speaker, our wonderful LD Carter. LD, if you've ever been here, LD has a smile that lights up the room. He has a spirit that welcomes everybody that comes in. The first time I came here, LD was at the back, And he introduced himself. I gave him my name. He made me feel welcome. That smile just was like, come on in. And, and when I came back a couple of months later, he remembered my name. And I don't know if you know what that means, but I think that's how LD makes everybody feel. So I'm so excited that he's going to be our speaker today. He's had every position probably on the board that there is to have. He's of service here in our community, and so I'm really excited that I get to introduce him and that we get to hear him today. Want to thank our neighbors at the Bluefish restaurant right across the street. They allow us to park in their parking lot from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we thank them for giving us a space to park so that we don't have to walk far to come into the church. Unity on Greenville welcomes we welcome your prayers and your presence, but we also welcome your financial donations. If you go on the website at www.dallasunity.org, there's a donate button. You can just click there, make a donation. It's safe and secure. And we also welcome checks, although I haven't written a check in years. The address is on the screen if you'd like to donate with a check. Speaking of donations and offerings, please join me in our offering blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. With gratitude, we commit to using our gifts for good. So we have our daily word for today. And the word for today is truth. The affirmation is, the light of truth shines in my heart. Like a kaleidoscope's shifting patterns of dazzling colors, my life is always changing. Some of the changes I may like, others I may not, but I accept the changes nonetheless. I enjoy pleasurable moments while learning and growing through the more unpleasant ones. No matter where I find myself along the spectrum of human experience, I take comfort in spiritual truth. God is changeless, the rock and refuge in times of struggle, and the wings that lift me in times of ease and bliss. I remain steady and calm even as I navigate life's inevitable changes, finding lasting comfort in the truth of God's absolute goodness. As I travel along my unique path, the steady light of truth shines from within me. The scripture for today is from 1 John, the 2nd chapter, 8th verse. Yet I am writing you a new commandment that is true in him and in you, because the darkness is passing away and the true light is already shining. Please join me in saying our affirmation together. The light of truth shines in my heart. And I'm going to invite up our prayer chaplain for today, Sandra De La Cruz.
Thank you. My name is Sandra De La Cruz, and I am your prayer chaplain today. If you'd like to pray with me at the end of the service, I would be honored. I'll be at the back of the sanctuary and would be happy, and it would be joyful for me to pray with you. Let us begin our prayer. As we join each other this morning in this beautiful sanctuary, we feel the warmness in our heart that lights our way to the truth that is God. We know that the Spirit is always with us. We need only look in our hearts, feel it in our breath, see it in a smile. We know that God's love is with us. As we go about our day today, starting with right now, let us remember that joy that is ours, always. Let us see within every smile Let us see within every person we meet. Let us see right now with all that are here and all that are at home joining us this morning. We know that God is here and that His love is always present. We need only to feel the heartbeat within our bodies to know the gifts that we have every day. So with this prayer, let us accept and affirm God's love. And so it is. Amen. I'd also like to let you know that Donna Kirby is in the back of the room. She is our keeper of the flame, and she is holding sacred space for us this morning. Thank you.
I want to invite you to rest for a moment. Step away from the world outside for just a moment. Turn your face away from calendars filled with appointments, the concerns of what will happen next, the next day, the next week, the next month. Breathe deeply and allow the tensions to lift away. Let your shoulders drop. Don't hold them up. Let them drop. Allow your forehead to relax, letting go of all that tension. The tenseness you carry in your jawline, just loosen it up. Just your whole face, allow it to relax. Today we'll celebrate Mother Earth and all her beauty and all her glory. And in your mind's eye, as you have done so often, walk. Feel Mother Earth beneath your feet. Connect with her. Allow her to support you. Hear the birds sing, for they too are grateful for the shelter she gives. See her waters clear and pure. As clean and pure as the time when she was born. Walk. Feel the wind on your face. Smell the freshness of the air. The woodlands after the rain. The fresh, clean air. Let's offer an earth prayer. A prayer that our Native American brothers and sisters, the Ute, explore and use in their own culture. And it says, Earth, teach me freedom as the eagle which soars in the sky. Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring. Earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life. Earth, teach me to remember kindness as dry fields weep with rain. We offer this prayer. And we remember, Earth, teach me freedom. Earth, teach me regeneration. Earth, teach me to forget myself. Earth, teach me to remember kindness. And in the silence, in the quiet, just for this moment, commune with Mother Earth. And now I invite you to return to this place, to this time, to this now. Grateful for the shelter she provides. Thankful for the nourishment. And we go forth, loving her, protecting her, cherishing her. And for Mother Earth, we are grateful. And so it is.
There's been a storm brewing inside me. Clouds move across my heart. Something's changing and I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not where I'm supposed to be. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never known before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call. It's asking, what am I here for? 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 They say pain pushes till the vision pulls. Feels like my safety nets have fallen down. I wish I had a map of where to go. I got this feeling deep inside. When I get there, I will know. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never done before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call. It's asking, what am I here for? 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 I wanna make a move right now, and I don't know when or how. When I trust I know the truth, my heart will point the way. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never known before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call, asking the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call inside me ask, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for?
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been with you in this capacity. And I must say I'm very excited, but also a little bit terrified. But it's good to be here. And what a time to be here. It is June. It is National Gay Pride Month. And in fact, it's Gay Pride Weekend in Dallas. And I know when I first came to the Unity movement, one of the things that I was proudest of was that in Unity, long before it became fashionable, Unity embraced the LGBTQ community. And so I've always been proud of that. And so it's extra special for me to be here on Gay Pride Weekend. I won't hold you very long because I know you want to get out there to get to the Gay Pride Parade that starts at 2 o'clock. Okay. All right. As I prepared for today, I came across some information. You know, there's so much useless but also useful information out there these days. And it was a survey. It was a survey that was done in the early 2000s. It was commissioned by some folks who study sleep, which is an odd group to do a survey, but they did. And one of the things they looked at was the whole idea of making your bed. They surveyed about 2,000 people, and as you would imagine, they all had different perspectives and different experiences around something as simple as making your bed. But the people during the study took this up because they wanted to get a correlation between how people slept and their whole experience around making the bed. Now, as they began to extrapolate data, they shared a few things that they thought were interesting about this. And I know this study has some validity because it was on television. The Today Show talked about this study, so it must be valid. Okay? So they talked with the people who made their beds every day. And what they saw as a trait of those folks, that those folks are adventurous, they are confident, they have tremendous social skills, and also they're very high maintenance. Okay? But meanwhile, the people who didn't make their beds, this is a survey now. People who didn't make their beds, they were shy, they were moody, they were curious, and they were as sarcastic as all get out. Okay? Now, digging deeper into the data, they also found that the people who made their beds in the mornings, those were the I'm up in the morning and I'm ready to take on the world, and I don't even need an alarm clock. And they found that those folks gravitated a lot toward the technology industry and also the health industry. Now, our wonderful souls who didn't make their beds, they were night owls. The Turner Classic Movie Network all night long was their best friend. And they didn't hesitate to hit that snooze button just over and over and over again. Now, they also tended, supposedly, to work in business and finance. Now, that made me feel real good that the people who are running America from a business standpoint and my financial advisor, they're groggy and hungover from lack of sleep, but they're making financial decisions. So I felt just real good about that. Now, I come from a long line of bed makers. That was just something that you naturally did in my childhood because your house, at least according to my mother, always need to be ready for anybody who might be visiting. And of course, it was a reflection on her housekeeping skills if people came in and beds were unmade and the house was in all kind of disarray. So at a very early age, I was taught to make my own bed. Not only because it had to look good for the neighbors or anybody else who happened to drop by, but because my mother and father also worked like crazy. I was reading in the paper this morning, Viola Davis has a new book out, and it's called Finding Me. And she describes in her childhood as saying, we were po. She said, the poor people were up here. We were po. We were less, we were even poorer than the poor people. So we were po as I grew up. And so my mother's working as a maid, my father's a laborer in the fields, and so they had a lot to do to keep our household together. One of my chores was to make the bed so that my mother would not have to be tasked with that. So I grew up making my bed. So let's fast forward. I go off to join the military. I'm in basic training. And guess what's the first thing that I am taught to do? Make my bed every morning. And by gosh, I excelled in it because I had already spent my entire childhood making the bed. In fact, I was amazed and appalled at the fact that there were young people in the world that didn't know how to make a bed. So I'm making hospital corners, and probably nobody even knows with fitted sheets, nobody even knows what a hospital corner is anymore, but I was a whiz at it. All right, fast forward, going through college, literally every day I made my bed. I graduate, I'm out on my own. I live alone. What do I do every morning? I get up and I make my bed because that's what you're supposed to do. All right, let's fast forward. Oh man, I fall in love. I meet a wonderful human being. We decide to set up housekeeping and cohabitate. And we are in this wonderful relationship. And guess what I do every morning? I don't make the bed. You can't make a bed if somebody is still in it. You can't make a bed if the person in it thinks, why make the bed? I'm just going to get back in it again. But never fear, guess what? We have a guest room. So guess what I get to do in the guest room? I get to make the bed. So there's a lot to be said for making a bed and not making a bed. For me, it was just a habit. It was something that I did, that I was taught to do, a skill. And what I did was, I wanted to take a look at that practice and how it came about and where it came from and some of the roots of it. But bed making is definitely a military thing I experienced, but also it's something that one of the people that I came across experienced as well. His name is Admiral William H. McRaven. He is a retired U.S. Navy commander. In fact, he was a Navy SEAL. And if you know anything about Navy SEALs, you know that they do life-risking stuff in rescues and those kinds of things. Even in their basic training, that's what they do. They risk life and limb, even just training to do the real thing. And so he's in training, and just like me, every morning he got up and he made the bed because that was an expectation. But also just like me, once he made it, he stood at attention while somebody came by and inspected that bed. Okay, it's very different having your mother inspect whether or not you've made the bed versus a drill sergeant. Who comes by, and just like in the movies, guess what? A coin is flipped onto the bed, and that coin needs to bounce at least once. That means you've made a good bed. And so that was instilled in him, so much so that even when he became injured later on in his military life and was finally able to get out of his hospital bed, he made the bed. So why would he be so adamant about that? Well, for him, that was not just about a function. It was not just because he was assigned to do it as a chore. It was a life lesson. I want to share with you just very quickly a little bit about that lesson. In fact, I have to tell you very quickly, we always talk when people are indoctrinated or inducted into the union movement and they stand before you, we talk about those folks being teachers, reaffirming that in this community, it's not just the speaker or the minister who's a teacher to you, it's this community. And so we learn from each other. So we need to be prepared to learn from each other. And I say that because I actually came across this book because one of our brothers, Robert Graham, mentioned it. And there was so much for me to learn from it. But I also have to tell you that when I first came across the book, it was, I'm a half-price bookstore guy, so I'm always looking for a bargain. So I went there several times trying to get it, and they said, "It ain't gonna happen, fella. Just pay full price." Well, along come Darcy and Sandra, who give me this fabulous bookstore card, and I get my book. So why does he believe in making his bed? Again, this is from Admiral McRaven, and he is speaking to the graduating class at the University of Texas in Austin. And he says, "If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task and another and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right." Now, here's a Navy SEAL talking about the importance of making your bed and it being a great example of being faithful to do the little things. Being faithful to do the little things right and to do them consistently. So what I found was I made an immediate connection with that idea with a piece of scripture from Luke, the 16th chapter and the 10th verse. And it says, "He who is faithful with little is also faithful in much. And he who is dishonest with little is also dishonest with much." So I've got this Navy SEAL talking about being faithful even in the little things, and I've got this scripture reminding us how important it is to be faithful in little and much. So let's couple some of those ideas together and move a little bit further down the road. I have a friend who called me several weeks ago because, like most of us, or all of us, we are greatly concerned about what's happening in Ukraine. And like most of us, he was concerned about what could he do to help. What could I do? Where could I start? And I suggested, why don't you start with a little thing? Well, first of all, he's very clear. I'm not going to support a war. Even if it's the good guys, war is war. But what can I do? So if you're not going to do that, what about those people who are displaced? What about the refugees who are fleeing the country? And I suggest to him that he look at the Red Cross page, Red Cross Facebook page, and their fundraising page. And there's a button there where you can contribute to help the refugees who are going into Poland. The Red Cross had actually set up a whole service center there for refugees who were coming across the border. And so he went from feeling frustrated to realizing this little thing he could do in order to make a difference in the lives of some folks. Now, also when I looked at the whole idea around making your bed, there's also a saying, and I've said it, I don't know how many times, and I'm sure it has tripped off your tongue at some point or another. Well, I made that bed. I guess I'm just going to have to lie in it. Wow. I made that bed. I guess I'm just going to have to lie in it. And I can't believe how many years I've spent on this planet believing that. But then I ran up against unity principles and all that changed. But also, that's not just unique. The idea of just having to wallow in whatever has happened to you, we're not the only ones who have struggled with that. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha said to followers, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. If a man speaks or acts with evil thought, pain follows him. If a man speaks or acts with pure thought, happiness follows him, like a shadow that never leaves him. Imagine that thought, that single thought. I made my bed, I got to lie in it. So guess what? You've just disempowered yourself. You've just breathed into the universe hopelessness. So how do you move out of that kind of thing? One of our thought leaders, and has done some phenomenal work, you can still get his books, Eric Butterworth, talks about putting ourselves potentially on a, gosh, I'm glad I have notes, on a verbal diet, going on a verbal diet. And the whole idea of the verbal diet is that you spend several days being very much aware of what you're thinking and what you're saying, okay? Because if you look at unity principles, our whole concept is that what we speak, we call into being. So if you are saying, boy, I can't do anything about what my situation is, guess what? That's what your situation is going to be. So the whole idea is to pay attention to what you're saying and thinking, because thought also becomes reality if we're not careful. So being on a verbal diet for several days, the challenge is to speak and listen before you articulate anything. Put into word those things you want to manifest in life. So you don't have to remain in that negative bed, that sense of hopelessness. There is another book that I dearly love, and thank you again, Darcy and Sandra. It's called The Divine Matrix. And it's by Greg Braden, and I learned about it from Reverend Evan Wilkins. Some of you know him. And in this book, they spend a lot of time talking about actual scientific experiments and how those experiments can actually demonstrate things in the real world or even in the spiritual realm. They actually get some things reinforced through science that are true spiritually. Well, I'm not going to go into those things, but what I did want to share with you, he talks about a computer. A computer is a piece of hardware, just a thing in and of itself. The computer is really useless until you have programs that go into that computer. So programs like Word, where you can generate Word documents, or you've got Excel, where you can do those fabulous spreadsheets that were always a nightmare to me when my staff would bring them to me in my career days. And those kinds of things, or PowerPoint, where you can create wonderful slides like what you're seeing on the screen. So you've got the software, so he correlates or compares us to a computer. And I want to share with you what he says about that. For all intents and purposes, the operating system of a computer is fixed and doesn't change. In other words, it is what it is. When we want to see our computer do something different, we don't change the operating system. We change the commands that go into it. The reason why this is important is that consciousness appears to work in precisely the same way. If we think of the entire universe as a massive consciousness computer, then consciousness itself is the operating system, and reality is the output of that operating system. Just as a computer's operating system is fixed and changes must come from the programs that speak to it, in order to change our world, we must alter the programs that make sense to reality. Those programs, our feelings, our emotions, our prayers, our beliefs. So he sees that as those places as starting points for us not only to change the world, to change ourselves, but in changing ourselves, we can begin to change the world. Now, I know when we think and act about change, sometimes we need a starting point. And for a lot of us, that's New Year's Day. We're going to make brand new resolutions, and we're going to start anew. Or sometimes for us, it's let's wait till the next burning bowl ceremony, and I'll get started then, just right away. A lot of us, it's at Christmas time. You know, Christmas time is a season of giving and joy, and we feel so open-hearted at Christmas because of what's going on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But start now. And in fact, I want to share something with you that is from Howard Thurman. That's not a name you know, but he played a phenomenal role in the civil rights movement. In fact, he was a kitchen table counselor for Martin Luther King and several other folks who were very active. And he had a work that actually Reverend Karen shared with us quite a while back, a poem that he calls "Now the Work of Christmas Begins." I want to share it with you just very quickly. When the song of angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. The work of Christmas begins to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. And so, as we begin to think about being faithful and doing the little things and doing them consistently, can't help but ask the question, so what is it that is mine to do? What is it that is mine to do? Is it to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry? Whatever that thing is. Is it to save the animals, to take care of Mother Earth? What is it that is mine to do? And I have to say that to you because you know what? You came to this planet with something to do. You're not here by accident. You're not here by coincidence. And not only did you come here with something to do, you came here fully gifted with whatever you need to do it. But sometimes we have to get out of that "I've made my bed, I'll just lie in it" mentality in order to be about the business that we in fact were here to do. Now, I can't tell you what that is. Only you know that. Only you know what burns in your heart. Only you know those desires. But I encourage you to take the time to look at that whole idea of what is it that is mine to do. I'm going to sort of head toward a close and share with you a story that took on a little bit of a significance for me because I started to look at this whole idea of starfish. Did you know that starfish can live as long as 35 years? I did. Most of the time when we see starfish on a beach, we think, oh, that's a life that'll be over in 5 minutes or whatever. And they can, in fact, live for a very long time. But they have to have the right surface. And they see hundreds and hundreds of starfish. So as they walk and talk, the one person is will stop and pick up a starfish and throw it into the ocean. They walk a little further, and this person again stoops down and picks up a starfish and tosses it into the ocean. And so the person walking with him at one point says, "Why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time doing that? There's hundreds of them. You can't fix this. There's nothing you can do about this." And with that, the person stoops down and picks up another starfish, and he says, "But it makes a difference to this one," and throws it into the ocean. Picks up another one, and he says, "It makes a difference to this one." Where you are right now, what are you called to do to make a difference for this one? Where are you being faithful in the small things so that it leads to something more and something more and something more and ultimately makes a difference for this one? Get on your verbal diet. Set yourself free of whatever it is that's hindering you, be it the past, a memory, an experience, whatever, so that you can be about the business of making a difference to this one. Start making a difference to one and ultimately make a difference in the world itself. Feel the call for something more. Ask the question of yourself, what am I here for? Beautiful song, Rachel. Feel the call for something more. Ask the question of yourself, what am I here for? And then go a step further. Get out of your comfort zone for something you've never done before. So get up, folks. Wake up. Make up your bed and change the world. Uni Young Greenville, you're always a blessing to me. Thank you. Namaste.
Sister, trying to feed the world. Little baby's in line, and she's got a burden in her soul. Yeah, brother, trying to rock your world with his music. Open up and receive it, 'cause he's got that burning in his soul. Mercy, have mercy on. Mercy, have mercy on us all, yeah. Mercy, have mercy on. 'Cause we are all just trying to listen to our mercy mission. Ooh. mother, trying to raise the world, and the child becomes full grown to carry on the seed that was sown. Oh, yeah, I said, preacher, you're trying to save this world. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice, he yearns to reach out to his throne. Mercy, have mercy on. Mercy, have mercy on us all. Mercy, have mercy on. And we are all just trying to listen to our mercy mission. Yeah. Oh. Are we busy judging when we should be loving? Are we busy judging? We should be out loving. I said, preacher, sister, mother and brother, everyone's got a mercy mission. What's your mission? Preacher, mother, everyone. Preacher, sister, mother and a lover, brother, got a mercy, got a mercy, got a mercy mission, yeah. We got it, 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 everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up your door, walk out now. I said everyone. Preacher, sister, mother and brother. Oh, ask yourself, everyone.
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, LD, really. All right. So at Unity, we have a mission statement, and I'm going to ask you to say it with me. With divine love as our foundation, we live unity principles, we awaken to truth, we affirm the innate goodness of all, and our oneness with creation. If I could just read the words on the screen, right? All right, we also affirm and claim the truth for our youth, so please join me in this affirmation. We teach principles to empower each child and teen to fulfill their divine potential. Through fellowship, love, prayer, and meditation, they connect with God, each other, and our world. And because we are sitting in joyful expectation for our next spiritual leader, we also have an affirmation for that. So please join me in saying the affirmation, and with gusto. We welcome and affirm with love the perfect spiritual leader who embraces the truth of unity principles. Yes. All right. So if you're in the sanctuary, if you're on Facebook, if you're looking at this later, we welcome you to connect with us. We want you to connect with us. Go on the website and click the connect button, fill out a little card, let us know how often or how little you want us to reach out to you. Get our e-news every week, which is amazing and awesome, but we welcome you to connect with us. And now, please stand and sing our peace song with Rachel.
Yes, there is peace on earth. I know it begins in me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God, our Creator, united are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, there's peace on earth. This is the moment now. With every step I take, I make this my joyous vow. I take each moment, live each moment in peace, eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and I know it begins in me.
And please stay standing and join me in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Namaste, unity on Greenville.
Mercy, have mercy on. Mercy, have mercy on us all. Mercy, have mercy on. We are just trying to listen to our mercy mission. Mercy, have mercy on us all.